Card Player Poker Tour is coming to Best Bet Jacksonville from October 27th to November 14th. This tournament series is packed with excitement and features 15 different poker tournaments, including a $1,700 mystery bounty event with bounties ranging from $500 up to $50,000, and the $3,000 no-limit hold'em main event from November 11th to the 14th. Go to bestbetjacks.com to view the tournament schedule.
Why is it so important for victims of accidents to call a lawyer right away? Because lawyers need to do things like interview witnesses while memories are still fresh, collect evidence before it's often destroyed, and to make initial contact with the insurance company so you don't have to worry about it. Why postpone securing legal representation? If an accident is causing you problems, call me, Eddie Farah. I want to hear about it. Farah and Farah, 396-5555. Offices, Jacksonville.
Upgrade your grilling game to amazing meals with a new high-quality grill from Caladad Grills. Why Caladad? It means quality. Expert grills that stand apart from the crowd, like Traeger, Kamado Joe, and Napoleon. In stock today and built to last. Why Caladad? It's a local family business, so they'll save you money and time with free delivery. Stop by Caladad Grills at the end of Cumberland Park Drive, just off County Road 210. Caladad, they make it easy for you to grill like a pro.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club has become an attractive destination for golfers all over North Florida. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that'll test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time today at hiddenhillsgc.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Comcast. Earlier today, Gators head coach Billy Napier announced that Brenton Cox Jr. has been dismissed from the Florida football team. Napier also went on to say that it was a healthy thing for our football team that Brenton Cox was dismissed by the team. Also reportedly, Gators tight end Keon Zipperer will miss the remainder of the season with an injury. The Georgia Bulldogs remain atop the AP poll. The Bulldogs are followed by Ohio State and their opponent this weekend, Tennessee. Michigan and Clemson round out the top five in the latest Associated Press poll. And Auburn has fired Brian Harsin after less than 2 seasons at the helm of the Tigers program. 82 degrees at 6 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I have never been a big cliche guy. And the cliche, same old, has always been kind of absurd, or, it is what it is. But here we go. Same old, it is what it is. The Jaguars on the other side of a football game. Yesterday in London, Denver snaps a 4-game losing streak. They are the victors, 21-17. Where I was born and raised in Boston, we weren't too far from Canada. I have a lot of respect for the folks from the north. They brought us hockey. They brought us great Canadian brewed beer. And my favorite of all time from Canada is Bobby Orr. My second favorite would be the great Neil Young, all right, when he was in Buffalo Springfield, along with Stephen Stills. Of course, his work with Crazy Horse, his work with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, and everything else. But I got to call out Neil Young today because one of my favorite songs of all time, I Thought Forever Told the Truth. It sounded a little bit like this. Only love can break your heart. That is a lie. Sports absolutely can break your heart. Let me tell you something. The one that got away, like Seeger, every song Bob Seger writes, it's kind of like the one that got away. You get over that. you repair that. I mean, you walk down the aisle and everything's cool. Then, 10 years later, it falls apart. You're going to get through it. But you're going to go back into time and you're going to remember these heartbreak losses in the world of college and pro football. They will never escape you. And if so, you're not truly a fan. I've always said, yeah, I'll stop thinking about it. That is the day I actually roll into the wooden box. So for Neil Young, you are wrong, okay? Sports can absolutely break your heart. I wish I had something to begin today's show with to make you feel a little bit better. I don't. I am right now surrounded by far too many questions, not nearly enough answers. We're 22 hours away from the NFL trade deadline. Where are you at right now? You've lost 5 in a row. This team continues to play hard. This team continues to do some good things. This team continues to be on the opposite end of a football game. Was there any question yesterday? Even when Trevor Lawrence and this football team marched down the field and went up 17-14 with 3 minutes and 54 seconds to go, you knew it and I knew it. There was no way the defense was going to hold. And, of course, they did go ahead and they scored. Lawrence got the ball back, threw his second interception of the game, and it was over. But you could see it. I mean, not only could you see it, you could feel it. You could have written the ending of this particular game moments before it actually did transpire. So where does that leave Jacksonville at this particular time? All right, they're better than they were. But I think what we've seen now is acceptance, okay? Losing and acceptance in the same sentence, which, frankly, is total BS in my world. I'm a very emotional person, and I've begged for emotion coming out of this franchise. You're not getting any. Doug Peterson's not an emotional guy. Trevor Lawrence is not an emotional guy. They're obviously lacking major leadership on this team. It's something I've been yelling about for years, okay? Who are the leaders? Seriously, who's the leader on this offense? I mean, look at Travis Etienne yesterday, career high 24 carries. Bell cow, 156 yards and a touchdown. Absolutely sensational. Well, I got news for you. If they gave him the damn football earlier this year, a couple of these losses would have been wins. The game plan was simple. Run it, and you got a much better chance to win games. For one reason or another, they did not. They elected to pass, as opposed to run the football. Yeah, it's to go back into time and play the whole what-if game is getting us nowhere. But it's an organization that seems to make one major mistake more than their opponent every single Sunday. It's so easy. I mean, you talk about, for those who really studied in school, and kids, you probably don't know what I'm talking about here, but there used to be something called Cliff Notes. All right? For those who didn't read the book, who didn't read the textbook, didn't read whatever it was, you cheat by getting the bullet points, the facts as to what actually went into it. You and I both know that you could just mention a team here. You can just fly out the bullet points. Every game, there's a defining reason why this football team lost. And we keep hearing after the fact, breathe deep, take a knee. It's all part of the process. It's going to take some time. We got to coach harder. We got to play harder. We got to grow as a team. We got to learn from. I mean, we hear it each and every week. A couple of weeks in, you're like, okay, yeah, I got you. You can kind of nod along. But when it becomes habitual, when it becomes the go-to, enough is enough is enough. So what I'd like, and I won't get it, but what I'd like is to hear of something pretty significant that actually happens in the locker room or on the team plane or on the practice field. I think this club right now is in the need of a serious heartbeat, okay, and a serious uptick. There's too much, again, acceptance to losing. And there's too much, last year we would have lost 38-14. This year we lose 21-17, and there's an opportunity to win it. It's become acceptable by too many people. And I'm not saying you, the Jaguar fans. I'm saying those who have direct input on what goes on with this football team on Sunday. And you can go back to the game against Houston when Doug Peterson that following Monday was brilliant the way he broke down what you as fans expect and what reality actually is when looking at this football team. And again, he mentioned, he mentioned 3 quarterbacks. And all of those quarterbacks have absolutely had better years. If you look at Hurts, if you look at Burrow, if you look at Herbert, compared to where they were in year 2. And that was basically his way of coming around and defending Trevor Lawrence. I think right now, say what you want about Urban. And he was a liar, and he's a bad human being, and everything else. But at least Urban showed emotion. At least Urban wasn't afraid to throw DJ Chark under the bus, so wasn't afraid. There's too much pampering going on with this football team. Okay? And even if that is for the media, we're not going to quote-unquote embarrass anyone on this football team through the media. We are going to handle it internally. Okay, if that's the case, I could see why they're going in that particular direction. But are they even doing that? Okay? That's my point. Are they even doing that? Or is it part of the process? It's just becoming so nauseating at this particular point. Me, O'Brien said yesterday, leaving London, there are offensive players on this team who are now coming out saying Trevor Lawrence needs to play better. That's her report. And I tell you what, I love hearing that. I'd like to know who said it. Honestly. I mean, who on that side of the football is a leader? You can tell me Marvin Jones Jr., he had 3 targets yesterday. He didn't catch 1 ball. Did he say it? There was a lot written after 2 weeks about Christian Kirk, how he was worth every penny of that contract. Oh, really? I mean, what happened to Zay Jones? How great he looked during camp. His expanded route tree, his ability to do all sorts of things. What did Zay Jones do yesterday? 3 receptions, 28 yards? So, is it anyone on the offensive line? Is it Travis Etienne behind him who went to college with him? No, I have no idea who it possibly could be. But something needs to be said. And again, this football team right now doesn't have any leaders. And that is what is scary. That had been the case around here through the really bad period of football. The end of the Gus Bradley era, the Doug Marrone era. I mean, people were tell us, oh yeah, Brandon Linder is a leader. He's a silent leader. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'll ask Brandon Linder 50 questions, and the interview will last a minute and 10 seconds. That's not a leader. A leader's a guy who stands up, answers the questions. Baselli answered the questions. Cersei answered the questions. Weidel answered the questions. Ben Coleman answered the question. Those are leaders. Okay, not a guy who gives you a 2-word answer and basically wants you to get out of his hair. And that was then. But who is it now? Seriously, it is a. You can watch Green Bay lose last night, and we did. You know they have a leader. You may not agree with Aaron Rodgers. He left it out on the football field last night. Tom Brady's getting crushed right now. They've lost 3 in a row. His selfishness of not practicing on Wednesday and leaving the team and going to Bob Kraft's wedding and everything else that he has done is drawing a tremendous amount of criticism. But no one has ever questioned Tom Brady as a leader and a guy who wants to go out there and try to win a football game. That's what I'm asking you today. Who in the hell is the leader on this football team? Your leader a year ago was Myles Jack. This organization paid Myles Jack $5 million to leave. Okay? The only other place in the world where something like that happens is when your wife leaves your ass. You got to pay her $5 million to no longer be in your home. And that's what they did with Myles Jack. You've watched the way that the linebacker plays, Ben. this year. We seemed to overdo it, I thought, early on with Foye Oluokun and Devin Lloyd. Well, there's kind of mixed reviews now. And just like all of the second-year guys this year with Roy Robertson-Harris and Rayshon Jenkins and Shaq Griffin, the Oluokun deal becomes that next year at this time in 2023. So that is what I'm going to begin with tonight. We are 22 hours away from the trade deadline. I can honestly circle 6, possibly 7 guys on this roster who I think is untouchable. And obviously one of those is the quarterback. And he continues to be a guy who is losing support week to week to week. I guess they only do it politically speaking. But if we were to actually put percentages on the job that Trevor Lawrence is doing.
Approval ratings,
we would see that drop by week. I trust my social media. I trust what I get from you. Okay? I wouldn't ask if not. I mean, I don't do it for the set. Every once in a while, someone says, oh, Ballou, you just need clicks. And clicks mean nothing to me. I'm a freaking radio. If I put something out on Twitter, it's because I'm trying to learn something. It's not, hey, I don't get a call in by my boss and say, congratulations, Ballou. I saw you got a lot of clicks on that tweet. It has nothing to do with it. It's my own little way of trying to figure out what you are thinking right now as a Jaguar fan. And I know that about half of you, probably more than half of you, have had it with Trevor Lawrence 25 games in. He's 5-20. And to see him make the same mistake yesterday that he made a few weeks ago against Houston is totally, absolutely unacceptable because he's making the same mistake. And if we were to rewind the tape and go back to Houston and listen to him and listen to Doug Peterson and listen to everyone else and then go to yesterday, and I listened to the Doug Peterson conference call at 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's eerie. It's completely, totally the same thing. You don't want to hear about that anymore. But that's the position you are in as a Jaguars fan. All right, we got a lot to do tonight. It's going to be busy. We haven't I haven't talked with Denny Thompson in a very long time. I think it was, right before the beginning of the season was the last time we had him on. JJ, I want some mechanics on Lawrence, and I want to get it from the quarterback whisperer. So that's coming up in about 25 minutes or so. We'll break a little bit of bread here with Denny Thompson. In the meantime, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get involved with the show. All right? The season is not over. That is for sure. But I'm really beginning to wonder now about the overall nucleus of this franchise. You know, Tennessee's getting a new building. Buffalo is getting a new building. All these franchises are getting a new building. Jacksonville needs a new building. Okay, whenever you ask for money, half the people out there are going to go crazy. I could make any comment in the world right now that is political, and half the listeners are going to agree with me. The other half of the listeners are going to disagree with me. But when you start asking for money, when you can't win a football game, I don't know what to tell you. And what's it going to be like out there Sunday at 1? I mean, do the Raiders travel? They go from Oakland to L.A., from Oakland to Las Vegas. It's not like the Giants last week. I mean, you can have 30,000. They're probably going to announce 60,000 plus, right? Because they can be, kind of tomfoolery with the attendance figures. But what's it going to be like here at 1 o'clock? And once again, when the national media gets a hold of it and they start showing highlights and they point to the stands and there's no one there, Jacksonville becomes, the one organization where you just kind of look at each other and you're like, what in the hell is going on in Duval? And I hate it. I hate it for you. I don't hate it for these players. Half of them are going to be gone. Hell, some could be gone the next 22 hours. If not, they're certainly gone at the end of the year. I could care less about the players. Yeah, I care about you as the fan. I mean, you're doing what you can do. And it's our fault just as much as anyone's fault out there. We told you this team was on the come. We told you this team was improved. And you know what? They are improved. They've had a lead in 7 games? 7 out of the 8 games, they've had a fourth quarter lead? 7 out of 8 games. a fourth quarter lead. They can't hold it. They can't hold a lead. So they're better, but it's still not good enough. And that is a major issue right now with this football team. All right, I got a lot I got to do here on the other side because there's still plenty on my mind. As always, I want to get information from you, the good, the bad, the indifferent. The best way to do so was on our text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That number is 641-1010. You can get me on Twitter. That is Ballou1010XL. We on YouTube tonight there,
We
JJ.
are on YouTube, and if you guys go, you can see Rick is dressed up in a Halloween outfit.
You got a zebra outfit on.
I do. I am an official today. So I have my flag, I have my whistle, just in case I hear any terrible sports takes, I'm going to have to throw a flag.
Urban Meyer wore a whistle.
What do you mean? Just like at practice?
He wore a whistle.
Did he?
Like he was a
like
high
he's
school
a drill instructor.
No, like he was a high school gym teacher.
I like that.
Okay, and when NFL coaches wear whistles.
Take notes, Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
YouTube. Go to 1010XL's YouTube page. Give us a click. We're the very first video. You'll see us in red, live.
Yep.
And leave a comment.
I'm dizzy. I have a headache. I hope that you out there can make it worse. Okay, because that's kind of the way that I feel.
Is this
right
brought
here on a
on
Monday.
from a weekend of Jaguar football, or is this just
I ate and drank
old age?
way too much. A trip to God's country with my
I
dad and my
forgot.
brother.
I'm glad that went well.
Yeah, just everything. Nonetheless, bring it. 641-1010, best way to get us, certainly on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right, opening comments brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Known those folks for quite some time. I saw it again at the stadium on Saturday over in God's country. All right, people squinting. People can't see what's actually happening. What number is that? Was that number 8? No, it was number 3. You sure it was number? Just going back and forth. It's part of life. All right, everything starts to get away from you, including your eyesight. And you're talking about your one stop when it comes to everything that is your eyes. That includes laser eye surgery. You're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience. When you talked about Dr. Neil Shmunez and Dr. Catherine Shmunez, fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery. I hear about cataract issues all the time. Very simple process. You may not need the surgery, however. You may have some sort of infection or virus or what have you. It could be an issue. My advice right now is to make a trip over or, set up an exam and have them absolutely look you over like they did with me more than 8 years ago. They discovered something that was cancerous in my right eye, and it had to be removed immediately. Had surgery, no setbacks. Every time I visit, health is fine, the eye is fine. Couldn't be any happier about what they've been able to do. So everything that involves your eyes, again, there's only one place here in Jacksonville, and that is out at the beach. That is Shmunez Vision, 299-2906, or go to shmunezvision.com. Care you can see. We're jam-packed on a Monday edition, along with JJ. My name is Rick Ballou. Let's go into the night.
Hayes Carline flies his B-52 bomber behind enemy lines.
It is what he's trained to do.
5 hours before kickoff, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Message received.
On 1010XL.
Over and out.
It's Trucktober at Nimnik Buick GMC, and now's the time to get into that new GMC Sierra or Canyon you've had your eyes on with Nimnik's best price guarantee and 0% APR for well-qualified buyers through the month of October. Stop by the showroom or view the inventory online at NimnikBuickGMC.com. Nimnik has more models on the ground than they've had in over a year, truckloads of new Buicks and GMC. So head to Nimnik today. That's Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, Ballou here, checking in with words of wisdom to be applied to life in your business from the business attorneys at Jimerson Burr. Howard Cosell once said, and I do quote, "Sports is the toy department of human life." End of quote. Thank you to Howard Cosell. Jimerson Burr, they represent businesses, all industries, all sizes, each matter with the same quality, care, attention to detail, and respect as if they were representing themselves. Always talk about how many different aspects of your business are there for you at Jimerson Burr. Operational issues, transactional issues, litigation issues. That's most important, especially as we're heading here towards the end of the year. All right, let's say you did your job 4, 5, 6 months ago. You haven't been paid. You've tried everything. They're avoiding you. It is time for representation. Contact an attorney at Jimerson Burr. Their number is 389-0050 or go to jimersonfirm.com.
Mike Dempsey here with a serious message. The bill is passed and the IRS is increasing collection enforcement. Accelerated Tax Solutions has implemented the zero-wait tax hotline to help you know what these changes mean to you and your family. I've met their local legal team led by an experienced tax attorney. They're ready to consult with you over the phone right away. Like I said, a zero-wait tax hotline. Call today, 652-0000. That's 652-0000 for Accelerated Tax Solutions.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hicken here. About 2 years ago, I had Bueller Air out to install the nicest system we've ever had at our home. Why did I choose Bueller? Well, they were and still are locally owned, and their service is immaculate. I mean, they really have the coolest guys in town. Right now, they even have 0% financing available on all new systems. So remember, for AC needs, stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Concrete floors don't have to be ugly and hard to clean. Whether it's a garage with cracks, tire marks, and failed epoxy, or any concrete surface that isn't beautiful and maintenance-free, Shark Coatings will transform it. Our coating and warranty are stronger, more durable, and longer-lasting than any other on the market. And because Shark Coatings is 100% UV stable for life, it's perfect for any concrete surface outside as well. Shark Coatings will let you reclaim those wasted hours spent pressure washing your driveway, patios, and walkways. Hit us up on social media or call 904-519-5055 to set up your free estimate today.
Having an active lifestyle is one of the most rewarding things you can give yourself. Dr. George Barry here, and at Barry Orthopedics, we know how important it is to be out and about, doing the things you want to do to enjoy a full life. But if joint pain gets in the way of staying on the field or in the gym, come see me at Barry Orthopedics. We have a team of orthopedic surgeons with over 35 years of practice experience in the field. Come see us at Barry Orthopedics with locations all across Jacksonville.
And don't forget, catch Dr. George Barry on Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30.
The Florida Forum welcomes best-selling author and co-host of NBC's Today, Jenna Bush Hager, at the Times Union Center Tuesday, November 8th. Funds raised will help build a new state-of-the-art neonatal intensive care unit for Wolfson Children's Hospital, the only inpatient pediatric hospital in the region. Get your tickets by clicking thefloridaforum.com or call 202-2886, 202-2886, or click thefloridaforum.com.
1010XL on your schedule.
Launch the downloads.
Listen to 1010XL talk shows on demand. Brought to you by Accelerated Tax Solutions. Search 1010XL in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or visit 1010XL.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you are a sixth-generation jeweler. What kind of watch do you wear?
Frank, I think I've told this story 1,000 times. The watch I wear is a Rolex, and here's why. When my grandfather gave me a gift for graduating from college, he said, I want you to have something that you'll always remember me for. And he gave me a Rolex watch, and some 35 years later, it still runs and looks as good as it did the day I got it, a day I'll always remember. This might be the right time for you to create the same kind of memory, and nothing does it better than a Rolex from Underwood's. Whether it's a lady or a man's, the Rolex Oyster has the classic good looks and incredible durability and accuracy that make it the watch people want to own. And at Underwood's, all of our Rolexes come with a 5-year guarantee.
Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra. Underwood's, serving excellence since 1928. Underwood Jewelers.
Here at Rhino Shield, we've been protecting homes for over 20 years. We are your go-to coating company for repairing and coating stucco. But Rhino Shield is engineered for any surface. Our coating is perfect for any siding or material used on homes. From stucco to vinyl, brick, wood, hardy board, or stone. If it's on your house, we can coat it. It's a new day at Rhino Shield, so give us a call or visit us online to set up an appointment. Rhino Shield, engineered to outlast paint.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Sing it, Neil. Sports suck. Yeah, I finished the Neil Young book. we all knew that Manson spent some time with Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys and all that. Neil Young was in that house, too, for a visit.
Everybody loved, his fam.
It was a sit-down.
They always say, like, well, I wasn't part of the Manson family. I just, hung out with the family.
It was early in the book. He said he had a sit-down with Charlie.
What does that mean? Like, passing around the LSD?
They went around and handed back the sixth string. He thought Manson had the gift for gab. And it was Doris Day's son. Was it Terry Melcher? I think it was his name, who didn't sign him. That's when they went back to the...
was he a singer?
Sharon Stone's...
Or a guitar player?
Who, Melcher?
No.
He was... Charlie was a singer and a guitarist. He was like Bob Dylan.
I've never heard any of his music, actually.
It's out there, man. Guns N' Roses did a remake.
No way. They covered one of his songs?
Absolutely.
I love that. That's
yeah,
so creepy.
6622, Ballou, you have to get the phrase right. It's couldn't care less. By saying you could care less implies that you could care less. Very good. Sometimes I get excited. Got a lot of stuff that has run in here today. And I usually don't get to your response all that early. But I do have Denny Thompson that's going to join us here just a little bit. 47-25, Ballou Lawrence will never be a leader. I disagree with your run first thing. Look at the past Super Bowl winners last 10 years. You find they were a throw first team. Please tell me you're not a Marone guy, run, screen, punt. No, I'm not. And your point about winning the Super Bowl over the last 10 years is true. That's my point. Trevor Lawrence is not Tom Brady. Trevor Lawrence is not Matthew Stafford. Trevor Lawrence is not Patrick Mahomes, okay? Not at this point. He needs help. And by running the football, you give this team help. And that is why I have been hollering about this. I don't ever remember saying this when it was Chad Henne or Gardner Minshew or Blake Bortles or any one of the quarterbacks, Jake Luton, who has played around here for several years. This is supposed to be a guy that is going to make a difference. And I just think by running the football, and they did it yesterday, and they did it with success. 32 carries, and it was all Travis Etienne. I mean, listen, JaMychal Hasty ain't the guy. Too many of you people were hanging on that 65-yard run. What did he do yesterday? Just over 3 yards a carry, 4 for 13. It was the Travis Etienne show only. And Trevor Lawrence yesterday threw the football 31 times. And he had the touchdown. He had the 2 huge picks. And on top of that, what really sticks out is obviously what he did in the red zone. And that's infuriating because the Jaguars now have had 4 red zone turnovers in their last 4 games. The Jaguars have this year, okay, by the way, Trevor Lawrence at 25 starts, his first 25 of his career, has 5 red zone interceptions. That's far and away the most of any quarterback. The Jaguars are 0-11 in games that Trevor Lawrence has thrown an interception. These numbers keep adding up to why this team should throw less, run more. I mean, the data supports it. The eye test supports it. I understand your opinion about these Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, and I would agree with you there, but this is not the case right now in Jacksonville. I'm not saying it can't get there at some point, but right now, it's not. 93-24 Ballou, how has the Jaguars' coaching approach changed over the past few weeks? It hasn't. Outside of running the football yesterday, it hasn't. 2 weeks ago, they passed the ball 44 times and ran it 21 times. The time of possession was nearly 10 minutes. Okay? That's hard-headedness. 21 rushes in a one-possession game. That is bad game day coaching. There's no other way to say it. 44-21. You got a quarterback who's struggling, and you're asking him to throw it 44 times, and you're only running it 21 times? That's bad. And I yelled about that all last week. At least they listened to me. This time they went out and ran it 32 times. It was almost the difference in the game. By the way, when you look at that, look what happens to the whole time of possession. Jacksonville yesterday, 34 minutes, 4 seconds. Denver, 25 minutes, 56 seconds. Completely different. Let me pull up the Giants from 2 weeks ago. Jacksonville, in this game where they threw it 44 times or ran it 21 times, time of possession, the New York Giants, 34 minutes, 10 seconds. Jacksonville, 25 minutes, 50 seconds. Because they were impatient. They didn't run the football. And that's a big mistake. And, another mistake that this team is making, in my opinion, is too much dead weight on offense. Okay, now it's Snoop Connor, who gets one snap. Luke Farrell, who gets a couple of snaps. Tim Jones gets a couple of snaps. They run a freaking tight end screen to Chris Manhurts, who looks like he's playing in quicksand. Okay, how about another defensive body? How about another interior defensive lineman that can help you out? Especially, am I wrong here? They've got too many guys on offense that are standing on the sideline not doing anything, where they desperately need at least one more body on the defensive line. And what are they doing with Chad Muma? That was a second-round pick. All right, I'm going to bring in Denny Thompson because I really want to break into this today. Is one to folks who do what I do, what JJ and I do, the guy who drives me or the gal who drives me crazier than them all is the "I told you so" someone. Oh, well, I told you they should have done this. Oh, I told you they should have done that. It's nauseating because there's an insecurity that comes with it where you can never admit that you're wrong. There's no way that this football team should have tried to fix everything at once. I yelled about it. I screamed about it. I talked about it in my sleep. They should have fixed the offense first and worried about the defense later. Did they fix the offense? Well, we're nearly halfway through the season. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram. Is that enough? Okay. Brandon Sheriff, who was actually on skates for one play yesterday at right guard, and I like him. He's their most consistent offensive lineman. But they didn't do enough to fix the offense. Instead, they used 3 top picks on the defense. When you look at Walker, Lloyd, and Muma. And they spent a ton of money on Aloha Khan and a ton of money on Fatu Cassie. Actually got a good deal with Arden Key. Got a fairly good deal with Darius Williams. They tried to fix it all. And that's the one thing that I was consistent on during the offseason. You can't fix it. Why not fix one side of the ball? And I'm not, believe me, I'm not a Trevor Lawrence apologist here. There's so much on him. But did you give him the proper tools to be as successful as he could be? Between in-game, horrible coaching decisions, in-game situations have been awful for this football team. I mean, just because you played another game, it doesn't mean that we forgot that you didn't challenge Christian Kirk last week and that you didn't challenge Travis Etienne last. I mean, Jaguar fans remember that. That's bad coaching, okay? In the Monday version of Blame game, that's bad coaching. And again, you ran it 21 times against the Giants in a one-possession football game where you had a fourth-quarter lead. That's bad coaching. I don't think they're on the same page. I've never thought they were on the same page. This organization totally screwed up the hiring process. They were out in front of all of the other 9 teams. They took forever. There were all sorts of reports that Trent Baalke did not want Doug Peterson. He wanted Matt Eberflus. He wanted Bill O'Brien. He wanted Vic Fangio. They screwed it up so bad. He wasn't even at the Senior Bowl. I mean, you can't make this crap up. Your general manager, he sent reps over there. He sent his scouts over there. What the hell took you 35 damn days for? You brought him in originally, and then you went deathly silent for a month? So now all of a sudden you lose all these games, and you got to wonder, one's got a reputation for leaking. One's got a reputation for pointing the finger at others. You're in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, and you got the Raiders coming in. This thing is on the cusp of sinking. Leadership, ladies and gentlemen, begins at the top. Your Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL brings you the orange and blue.
Ball's loose. Gators jump on it.
The Gators crawl into Kyle Field as they take aim at Texas A&M.
Touch back inside. He's loose. Touchdown, Florida.
Kickoff at noon on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Are you tired of hearing that something you're looking for isn't available? Or worse, you have to wait a year to get it? Because we love our customers, we did something kind of big. Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet invested over $20 million in building the biggest, most diverse used car inventory just for you. We have hundreds. Make that thousands of vehicles to choose from, all priced to sell. You'll only find that kind of selection at Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville or Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine. Don't make us come get you.
Mia O'Brien here, and winning is everything. Those long hours of hard work and training is worth it when you win the game. When it comes to plumbing and septic projects, the team that wins is Duck Duck Rooter. With over 50 high-skilled players and over 25,000 happy customers, they can resolve any plumbing or septic issue you may have. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, or online at duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting, prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
This is Dr. Chris Swanson. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is holding their annual Bumps and Bruises Clinic every Saturday morning through early November. These injury evaluations are absolutely free and open to every school and athletic program in Northeast Florida.
See us this Saturday morning at 3 North Florida locations from 9 to 10. The Brooks Center for Sports Therapy inside the YMCA, Preferred Physical Therapy, Fleming Island, and at Atlas Physical Therapy, St. Johns County.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
What is North America's largest freshwater fish? The answer coming up.
How long has it been since you compared homeowners' insurance rates? Log on to southernoak.com to find an agent or get an instant quote online. Find us at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
North America's largest freshwater fish is the sturgeon, which this time of year you'll find swimming around in the Great Lakes.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
I know you may have concerns right now about selling your home. The Northeast Association of Realtors reporting home sales are down 20% from this time last year. But you know what? Rates are holding. If you have the right agent, you can sell your home, and you can sell it at the cost that you want to. But those agents are Chad and Sandy Real Estate, and you need to check them out at chadandsandy.com or call them in their office at 414-6200 because they guarantee offers on your home within 72 hours or they'll sell it for free. This matters. Look, whether you need a bigger home for your office or you just have a growing family, the time is right for you to leave now, even if you don't know that it is. In fact, Jeff and Robin were still in a starter home, but their daughter was now a teenager. They needed more space. They heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, and they called. Chad sold their home for full asking price in 3 days. Often they'll get more than your asking price. Call the only agents I trust and recommend and get multiple offers in 3 days or sold free. Go to chadandsandy.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
October 31st, 1998, Tennessee's T. Martin completes an NCAA record 23 straight passes against South Carolina.
Convenience stores are there for a reason, to be convenient. And when you're in a hurry to get to the party, drop into your local Dailies and pick up a cold case of Bud Light. Priced right and always cold. Bud Light, in the cooler at your local Dailies convenience store.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative. Free promo tip. Put your logo on golf balls and give them to clients who are bad golfers. More hacks equals more exposure. Trust me, it's science. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
At Halloween 2022, no place I'd rather be than right here. Hogan Road. Home of the Jaguars. Although I bet you there's some pretty cool parties happening. Tonight's a rare one. Fourth time this year and the 28th time in our history we have a game in the National Hockey League, the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball.
Well, we might not have a baseball game. We're waiting to see the update on the rain.
It's supposed to rain in Philly.
Yes, it's raining right now. By the way, Hogan Road can get pretty scary at night.
Mm-hmm.
Our next guest knows that very well. We used to leave here very late.
With the meth lab not too far away?
Right across the street.
Hey! I didn't say that now.
I love it.
I don't want bullets flying in my direction. Let's bring in the one, the only, Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer, goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Denny, how you been?
Man, I'm good. I was excited about all the action until Mr. Buzzkill JJ there was like, nah, we're not having a baseball game.
Yeah, JJ came on for 15 seconds. He managed to say there'd be no baseball and there'll be bullets flying at us as we get into the parking lot at the end of the show. So that's why he's the best around. You know what I mean? I thought I needed a bulletproof vest when I went to Tallahassee on Saturday, but now I'm going to need one here leaving the studio.
Yeah, that's not new. That's definitely not new.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the mechanics here. A little bit with Trevor. First of all, it's been a while since you and I have spoken on air. Just 8 games in now. Give us the overview on what you've seen with Trevor Lawrence through these first 8 games.
Yeah, I think the word that everybody uses is frustrating, and I'm right there because it doesn't look the same as it did last year, but the mistakes are more costly because the games are closer, right? And so now it's, mechanically he's gotten a little bit better than where he was last year, although there's still a lot of room for improvement with him mechanically. But now it brings into question of, okay, when those times of intense pressure hit, what are you going to do? And he didn't really face a whole lot of that at Clemson or in high school for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, now I think that's the frustrating part is because you see this team get a little bit better and you know what you see. But then you see your generational quarterback throw interceptions on the 1-yard line. And the bigger thing for me is the 2-minute drill. And to be fair, he's led a drive that's taken the lead in the fourth quarter twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But the issue is early in these possessions is when the turnover's coming. Throw 1, throw 3, throw 1. And to me, that just says, all right, why is he so uptight? And all right, how do we work on that? And I hope it's not a confidence issue.
Mm-hmm. Doug Peterson was asked about it again today, and it was a conference call. He didn't meet with the media in person after the late night trip back from London. But why put Trevor in a similar it was the exact same play. Why put him in a situation like that after he threw the goal line interception a couple of weeks ago against Houston?
Well, I think I don't have an issue with the play call. I mean, I think it's easy to say, you should have run the ball, but the reality of this is 100% on Trevor. That's a universal play, and the thought is let's cut the field down, and the whole reason you want to cut the field down is so you don't throw a pick. So it's just a little easy read, and it's one of those things where you can challenge the alley player as a quarterback, and so a lot of times the quarterbacks will run it in. So it's done every single game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just designed of you're either going to run this in the easy way, it's going to be a wide open guy, or you're going to throw it out of the back of the end zone. And everybody else does it efficiently and effectively, and that's the frustration right now that I have watching this.
There are times where he really makes fantastic plays. I mean, you look at that touchdown that he threw to Evan Ingram. I mean, that's a great play, and you're like, wow, all right, there it is. But obviously the consistency is not there, and there are other times, like late in the game when he was going for Christian Kirk, when he was picked off there by K'Wan Williams, you're like, high school quarterbacks should not make that throw.
Right, yeah, you can't miss that inside. And even when you're trying to get out of bounds, that was a double whammy on bad ball placement. But, yeah, I mean, again, Rick, I don't – he has the flash throws, and you're right, the consistency part is the most important part in the NFL game. If you look at the great ones, they're consistent. But I haven't changed what I think about him. I just don't think it's going to happen as quickly as we all thought, or at least I thought.
Yeah.
But there's so much talent there. There's so much talent. It's just a little more raw than what I think everybody thought coming out of the draft.
Yeah. It's a good point. Denny Thompson, our guest, quarterback whisperer, joins Rick Ballou as we go into the night. Let's play a little bit of the spin goalie here, because I'm wondering about his mental health and his his preparation and what he's hearing, what he's not hearing. Would it make sense at all because Doug Peterson was asked about this a week ago, and he acknowledged it, and he actually took it a little bit farther than I thought he would. But he didn't say steadfastly, yeah, that's it. Is it time for Doug Peterson to let it be known that last year was an absolute lost season for Trevor Lawrence, and this is virtually his rookie year?
Yeah, I mean, I think putting your weight behind your quarterback like that and behind your quarterback that you're assuming is your franchise quarterback, I think that's a good move. I think that's a great move. And I think the further we get along in this, or maybe the further removed we are from the Urban Meyer era, it's all common sense anyway, right? I think everybody that needs to know that knows that is truly a lost year. So, yeah, I mean, I think that would probably be a pretty big boost for Trevor if his head coach stood up there and said something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Trevor's that guy that needs that too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I also don't think, when I say confidence, I'm talking mechanical confidence. I'm talking things like that. Am I seeing, the field confidence? As far as leadership and just confidence in yourself as an individual, I don't see that as being an issue with Trevor.
Yeah, I told you that in late July when I was in Charlotte for the ACC meetings, I spent all my time with Tony Elliott of Virginia, former Clemson offensive coordinator, and Dabo Swinney. Basically, the entire conversation with those two gentlemen on the leadership qualities of Trevor Lawrence. And obviously I wondered enough about it, Denny, to ask these two. And it's being completely called upon now. I think Jaguar fans would love to see a very emotional Trevor Lawrence. It's almost like, all right, we went out, we did our best, we lost, let's move on, let's get him next week. And I think that's become very tiresome for these fans.
Yeah, I mean, that's a decade in the making, right? And that's certainly not any of these players' issues of what the previous teams did. But, you take 17 out, and this is just an abysmal franchise. And so you start to wonder, I start to wonder more, there's not really that many common denominators left down there. So what is this aura that looks like a lack of confidence, especially in games when this season you've been up by double digits?
Yeah.
And I think they got to locate that source. They got to figure that out. And if 16 can make that big of a difference by changing his leadership style, then, that's a Tom Brady-esque type move. Like that's what those guys are born to do.
Yeah. All right, last question for you. I really wanted him to get an ex-wide receiver. I think did everything we could to, pump up Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and all of this and all of that. They don't have a bona fide game breaker on this roster.
No, they don't. They don't. And I think the injury to Agnew hurts way more than what's being discussed. Not that he was touching the ball a ton, but just that game breaker speed and what they could do creating matchups with him, which got other people open. So, they don't have that guy right now. But if you want a silver lining, and Jacksonville's going to hate me for saying this, you're going to have a really high draft pick again. So don't go spend, $12 million a year on a guy. Go get the next best guy.
Yep. Hey, Denny, always a pleasure. I know you're busy, man. Thank you so much. We'll do it again soon.
Yes, sir.
There he goes, Denny Thompson. He is our quarterback whisperer. Yeah, and listen, I'll credit Trent Baalke that these contracts, you can look at the years and you can look at the money. They're 2-year deals. Zay Jones will be up in a year. Christian Kirk will be up in a year, if you're willing to eat the dead money. Marvin Jones, I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded tonight or tomorrow. I mean, at this point, what's he going to give you? What is he, 31, 32? He's a solid guy, but you might as well cut bait here. I get all this feedback, and people are like, well, they got to get rid of Baalke. They're not going to get rid of Trent Baalke. Okay, he wouldn't have moved J-Rob last week if his job was on the line to win this year. It's not. He, in my opinion, has the full confidence of Shad Khan that he is going to be the guy to fix this team. And I do believe that you will see some players moved before 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'm a little bit more concerned about everyone agreeing on the same thing. When you put all these type A's together and you put leaders together, there's never going to be a universal agreement. But when you're in a 5-game losing streak where you've had leads in 7 of 8 games in the fourth quarter, you're closer and you're closer. But again, the misses have been enormous. Okay, even for those who casually watch football, they're so obvious to even fans like that. And frankly, they're mistakes that cannot happen. And they are happening. So that's alarming to me. I think Doug Peterson is the guy. I think he's made mistakes with his play calling. I think he has made mistakes with his game day personnel. Again, you got way too much dead weight on offense right now. You got guys that are sitting on the sideline that are not helping out. And you need more defensive bodies. I think what Trent Baalke has done is he tried to fix everything. And it's backfired. The Chad Muma pick has backfired. I mean, this football team needs a wide receiver who can run. And it was right there at 27. It was right there in the second. And he didn't do it. And, this isn't anything new for me. I'm not piling on here where, okay, they're losing 5 in a row, have at. No. I've been saying this forever. Fix your offense. I wouldn't have signed Cam Robinson. I wouldn't sign Juwan Taylor. Okay? I wouldn't have done I honestly, I don't even know if I knew who Zay Jones was until they signed. Of course I did. But you catch my drift. They're paying a lot of money for guys that have never done it at that level. Look at the games yesterday. With that Philly game with A.J. Brown. Look, every team has got a guy that can break you wide open at wide. You don't have that here. And if you could have done it all over again, if you got the guy in Trevor Lawrence, you should have given him everything that he possibly could have used to be better. And they did not do that, in my opinion. They spent money, but how much better did they really make this football team? That's my way of looking at it. They absolutely had to get a wide receiver, and they did not. So here we go again. They're going to cut a bunch of these guys at the end of the year. They're going to have money. They're going to have draft capital. But, if all of a sudden, and when you evaluate this team, there's still a lot of issues on defense. Again, these were Band-Aids on defense. You haven't gotten the money out of any one of those players that you signed 2 years ago. Roy Robertson Harris, Shaq Griffin, Rayshon Jenkins. Harris has played all right as of late. I thought Jenkins got off to a pretty good start this year. Shaq has just been a monumental bust, and he's the highest salary guy in your team. So that is, for me, a concern. And when you lose, everything comes out once again. I really have a bad taste in my mouth as to why it took so long to reach the decisions that this team made. Again, the way they handled the coaching search was awful. It was just terrible. You had such an advantage over every other team, and they totally dropped the ball. You may not want to hear that, folks, but it's the truth. They totally... How can you not have your general manager at the Senior Bowl? I mean, honestly. JJ, how can you not have your general manager at the Senior Bowl? Your coach was gone after 12 games.
Well, that's why you have scouts, right? Assistants.
Okay. We'll see. I hope it works. I hope it all gets together. I hope we just walk hand in hand and we're all smiling and everything's great. But right now, I don't know what to tell you, man. This organization, for one reason or another, it's the only thing I've ever seen like it. This organization is half pregnant.
There must be a reason it's called football.
All you got to do is put your foot right through the ball.
Listen for the special teams player of the game.
And this kick is good!
Brought to you by the urological specialists at McKeever Clinic on 1010XL.
At Key Buick GMC, receive 0% financing up to 36 months on select GMCs, $500 off all new vehicles for all active, retired, enlisted, and previous military. Whenever you purchase a brand new vehicle from Key, whether it's a Buick or GMC, it always comes with that lifetime powertrain warranty. A full allotment is in now and available. So visit the good folks at Key Buick GMC right across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, and happy to report that Dandy has some brand new goodies, and they're only available at select Gate stores around town. 5 delicious new breakfast items to start your day off right. Fresh buttermilk biscuits, flaky croissants, French toast, maple waffles, all matched up with country sausage, ham, or bacon, fried eggs, and cheddar cheese. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so go out and make yours a dandy just a little bit earlier tomorrow.
Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you, yeah.
Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been around since 1985. Jackson's trusted John's Auto, whether you need routine maintenance or an engine overhaul. John's Auto, they can do it all. We service all makes and models of cars and trucks and even work on diesels. I've been visiting them since I returned to Jacksonville in 2006. Check them out today. John's Auto on Arlington Road, 904-743-3857.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer. Are you in a deed-restricted community and have a shingle roof? Florida state statute expressly prohibits your HOA from telling you can't have the incredible benefits of a metal roof on your home. New Florida state law allows insurance companies to force you to replace your shingle roof in as little as 10 years. Now's the time for a new metal roof from top-rated First Coast Metal Roofing Supply. They'll guide you start to finish so you can enjoy your new metal roof for up to 50 years. Call First Coast Metal Roofing Supply right now or online at firstcoastmrs.com.
If your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
It's a unique gift idea, and it's perfect to add some fun to your work environment. Mystic Cornhole Company builds customized high-quality boards right here in Jacks. Visit their shop on Phillips Highway or check out some of their design at mysticcornholecompany.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
There's a time for living. The time keeps on flying. Think you're loving, baby, and all you're doing is crying.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Look at your game, girl.
Game 3 of the World Series called off. Rain in Philly. Sorry to interrupt you, Charlie. Manson. How did Terry Melcher not sign Manson if he's got a...
He sounds pretty good.
He does. He's picking. He's grinning.
Certainly has a better voice than Bob Dylan. I don't know about the songwriting, but...
Manson got everyone else on LSD, and he didn't take it.
That's the key.
He thought he was
running a cult.
Start a civil war. The only reason why I mentioned Manson, I just finished a Neil Young book, and he actually said that he hung with Dennis Wilson and all of that right before the murder of Sharon Tate and others. I wasn't aware of that. But if Neil Young put it pen to paper, who am I to argue, right? I mean, that's not something you would openly brag about unless it happened, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not a lie you would probably make up.
Mm-hmm. Trevor Lawrence is getting crushed. And it comes with the territory. And, you know, this past weekend was really interesting to me because I saw Aaron Rodgers get crushed. Two-time MVP. Two MVPs in a row, okay? The guy got the opportunity to sit behind Lord Favre. And he's getting crushed. Tom Brady, a 6th-round pick, 7 Super Bowls, getting absolutely crushed. And albeit, Brady's made some really selfish moves that if it wasn't him, I think the criticism would be far worse. Look at Russell Wilson. He's a Hall of Famer. Absolutely destroyed this year after signing that huge deal in Denver. So when you are a quarterback, and for the record, Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round pick, went from NC State to Wisconsin. Matt Flynn was supposed to be the guy. Trevor Lawrence was way in front of those three. If you look at potential coming out of the draft, can't miss, all the terms that we love to use. And it hasn't happened so far for Trevor Lawrence. And he is going to and is receiving on a weekly basis more and more criticism. I think there is some truth to give it time. Unfortunately, this is one fan base where you don't want to be told to give it time. I mean, you were told that this kid was something special. This kid was generational. And it hasn't worked out that way. But you can really make a case to totally defend him and say it was a lost year with Urban Meyer. He doesn't have adequate enough players around him. Here's one here is telling me that he doesn't even think that if Trevor had the talent, had a number one wide receiver. 7169 says, Ballou, I disagree a bit. For the first time in years, we're seeing receivers run open. Trevor is missing them, not seeing them. Our receivers aren't superstars, and I do hope we upgrade. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that having a big-time receiver would make much of a difference, especially if Trevor overthrows him when he gets behind the defense. That's fair. That's a fair opinion. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you on that. We're at the crossroads, though. I mean, something's going to happen now, right? Mia O'Brien, again, came out today and said that, there's been that it was a two-part deal. That number one, Trevor Lawrence told folks after the game yesterday in London that he needs to play better. And he needs to step up, and that's encouraging. The other side is, reportedly, there's some people offensively in that locker room that are like, yeah, he's got to play better. I'd kind of like that story to evolve a little bit. I'd feel a little bit better that someone is saying that someone's going to put a name on that. We see way too much that when organizations lose, anonymous stuff gets said. And even though in the world of journalism, if there's any of that left, I've always felt that at times that is incredibly cowardly. Wouldn't you kind of like to have a name on this one? Even if he's traded in the next, 19, 20 hours or so? Wouldn't you like to know that it was this guy who said it or it was that guy who said it? Because you can make the case that it should be said, right? It's nothing personal. It's business. You got to make plays. He hasn't made plays. I mean, I'm looking right now. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence. We're basically at the halfway point. 8 games. He's gone from 59.6 completion rate to 62.5. You remember a few weeks ago, JJ, that was like 68, 69? Yeah. So he's fallen off significantly. His average per attempt went from 6 yards a year ago up to 6.6 this year. He threw 12 touchdown passes in 17 games last season. He's thrown 10 so far this year in 8 games. That's not enough. 10 in 8 games. His interceptions are better. He threw 17 a year ago in 17 games. Right now, halfway through, he's thrown 6. 32 sacks a year ago, right? 12 so far this year. His quarterback rating last year was 71.9. This year it's 84.8. So his numbers are all improving. But they're not improving to where he's a top 15 quarterback in the league, certainly not a top 10 quarterback in this league. And, we're starting to see the older guys. It's all, we just talked about Brady and Rodgers. It feels like it's the end. And it's coming on the cusp of saying goodbye to Phillip Rivers. And it looks like Matt Ryan is at the end. And Roethlisberger and Eli and Drew Brees. And I think I said Phil Rivers. I mean, all these stand-back, drop-back quarterbacks, they're all leaving. So it's the new generation of quarterbacks. And, is this – all of a sudden you look at the development. Now, his class has really stunk up the joint. I watched Mac Jones yesterday against Zach Wilson. It was almost a comedy of errors. It was. I mean, those are 2 quarterbacks right there where you're just like, really? I mean, that's the future of the New York Jets. That's the future of the New England Patriots. Both left a little bit to be desired. We saw how great Josh Allen was last night. We're going to see Joe Burrow tonight. Justin Herbert puts up huge numbers, yet that That's an organization right there. Isn't that starting to feel a little bit like the Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford story? And even though Ryan should have won a Super Bowl if they had a above-average coaching staff, we know that Matt Stafford never won a playoff game in Detroit. Aren't you starting to get that feeling with Justin Herbert a little bit in L.A. that he's going to throw for 5,000 yards every year, but he's never going to win a playoff game?
They might. I was thinking that, like, that would be here. Stafford, would be Trevor, and Trevor would put up these big numbers, but the Jags would struggle and barely get to the playoffs. But now it's like, God, I wish Trevor would be Stafford. Oh, my God. That's so far away. But, yeah, that's actually a good comparison. I didn't think about that with the Chargers.
Lamar Jackson had a big week. Kirk Cousins had a big week. Jalen Hurts had a big week. So Trevor's going to take the blame on this, and he should. He's the top pick. I always found myself defending Blake Bortles more than I probably should have because he was overdrafted. He shouldn't have been the third pick in the draft. That was a mistake by the organization. He didn't have the talent to be the third player in the draft. Trevor Lawrence was everyone's number one. If you want to blame Bulky for that, you're wrong, because it didn't matter if it was Trump or anyone, okay? Every single general manager in the National Football League would have selected Trevor Lawrence at number one. Right now, it becomes his leadership, his ability to put away these mistakes. I mean, where's the confidence level right now? For him to throw that football in the end zone yesterday, I got to believe his confidence level is pretty high, because you wouldn't have made that pass if you thought, if I do this or whatever, they're going to come down on me. Not to the point where he's going to lose his job, but I hope you understand where I'm going with it. There would be some guys that are gun shy. Kind of an analogy that's not a good one is I found myself a little bit concerned about Trayvon Walker after he got hit with personal fouls week after week. Would he become gun shy and maybe lay up on a quarterback because he thought he was going to get another 15-yard penalty? Same thing with Trevor at goal line. If he was told, don't do it, you can't do it, so help me God if you make that mistake again. Well, obviously that's not the case, because he did it. And it was an unbelievable play by Justin Simmons. It was, it was a big-time play by a big-time player. But still, it smells. It does. All right. Let's get to your comments here on the other side. 641-1010, best way to get a hold of us. Jacksonville up 10-0. They have that turnover surrounded by 5 straight punts. It's and it's the league. I get it. I do, but it has felt like there's been times this year where this team had the ability to completely put away their opponent, and they've ended up losing the game. 14-0 at Philly, and you got a 51-yarder, and then you commit your first of 5 turnovers. I hate the what-if game. I hate the look-back game scenario, but that's all we have. That's all you can base this off. So let's continue with your comments on this. 641-1010. And by the way, for the record, since this is our last show until we will know, who are you moving tonight or tomorrow? I got 6 guys, in my opinion, who are untouchable. I'll go through the list. And what about the report here with me, O'Brien? Are you happy to hear that someone in that locker room has called out the quarterback to play better? I myself enjoy stuff like this because I think it adds a little bit more accountability to winning as opposed to just picking up a damn paycheck. I wish there was a name that was tied to it. I have my guesses, but I don't know, in fact, who it is. So if you want to comment on that, best way to do so is on the text line 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Again, the cancellation is in. We will not have Game 3 tonight. Unfortunately, Phillies and Astros, Mother Nature does its part in Philadelphia, so Game 3 has been canceled.
1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
I'm Coach Krause of Bishop Kenny. The Crusaders' final regular season game is at University Christian on Friday night. Hear all the action live on 92.5 FM.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous, don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
At Farah & Farah, our goal is to protect your quality of life. That's why we built our website as a tool that you can use to get answers. Like, what do you do when you know your car is totaled, but the insurance company insists on fixing it? What if your child is injured on a field trip, but you signed a release form? What if a trespasser is hurt on your property? Do you have any responsibility? You've got questions, we've got answers at farahandfarah.com. Protecting you and your family since 1979. Offices, Jacksonville.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain like Heather?
I have terrible arthritis and have had it for quite a while, and I've gone to all kinds of doctors trying to figure out what to do, and everybody just said surgery, and surgery was months of rehab, and I didn't want to do that.
But then Heather discovered QC Kinetics, local medical professionals who specialize in natural biologic treatments, non-invasive solutions designed to repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. And she absolutely loves the results.
I like to tell anybody who's suffering that there are options that are not steroids, that are not surgery. You owe it to yourself to find out about QC Kinetics and find out what they can do for you.
No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Discover QC Kinetics and learn more about natural biologic treatments with lasting results.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today, 904-274-5522.
Honest Abe Roofing does not give estimates. They give actual price quotes. Yep, actual to-the-dollar quotes on the spot with no hidden surprises. Or,
sorry, we didn't see that earlier.
Honest Abe's free inspection and quote shows exactly what you'll pay, and once that roof is installed, Honest Abe's Invest Once lifetime guarantee covers every facet of your entire roofing system for as long as you own your home. If you think you'll need a new roof soon, don't delay. Call 341-ROOF, that's 341-ROOF, or honestaberoofing.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
October 31st, 1998, Tennessee's Steve Martin completes an NCAA record 23 straight passes against South Carolina.
Who is the only president to have served more than 2 terms?
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to ask your agent about your homeowner's coverage. It's time to make the change to Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
There's only been one president to serve more than 2 terms. Franklin Delano Roosevelt spent over 12 years in office, dying in his 4th term.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative, letting you know that Hardball has cooler promotions, but some people call them ice chests. Either way, check out the items you can put your company logo on at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hi, this is Travis Cummings of the Ballou Group, and I specialize in working with medium and large companies to ensure their employees get the best benefits possible.
This is Mary Marks from the PACE Center for Girls. PACE provides girls and young women an opportunity for a better future through education and advocacy. And Travis Cummings from the Bailey Group ensures everyone that works at PACE has the very best in coverage and benefits so that we can attract the very best team members.
And I'll make sure your employees are well taken care of.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Girl Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich. Hey, I'm Michelle, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is it's spicy and it's full of flavor. When you pair that with the Kale Crunch Salad, it's just good.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That is the Lights, Warren Zevon. Such a great song, such a great album, such a great LP. Unfortunately, ruined decades later by Kid Rock. I mean, that was so bad. You ever seen Kid Rock in concert? You talk about the ultimate glory cut guy. He allows the entire band to chop down the tree. Then he grabs the golden axe for the final swing. And down goes the yoke. I mean, he does a drum solo. He's got a guy playing drums for 2 hours, and all of a sudden, Kid Rock goes up on stage. Takes the drumsticks away from him. Guy needs everyone cheering for him. Kid Rock.
I've never been to a Kid Rock show, but I saw a documentary on 1999 Woodstock. And I remember watching it as a kid on MTV, but I remember he walks out in the middle of the summer with this huge mink coat on. He was massive when I was a kid.
He played here. I think it was Skinnerd show. I also saw him at right before the Daytona 500.
That sounds about right.
On the infield. I mean, he's entertaining. It's just, he's perfect for today in the All About Me era. We saw that yesterday, the All About Me. Who was it in Carolina with Moore?
Yes.
Caught the touchdown, ripped off his helmet.
I wish I could agree with you on that. I do think it's all about him, but in that moment,
it's a bad rule.
I hate the rule. Get rid of the rule. It's stupid.
I'm not going to argue with you there. It's a bad rule. It's a terrible rule. But DJ Moore has to know. You got to know the difference there.
Yeah, I'm just saying in baseball, you hit a home run, you can basically throw the bat in the other team's dugout nowadays and twirl around the bases. But football, they're so stuck up when it comes to that. I hate it.
Everyone's hammering me on who I think it is that has called out Trevor. I honestly don't know. And let me say this. This is where I'm conflicted. Usually it's either one of two things when comments like this are made. It's truly a team leader or it's a disgruntled player who's not getting playing time. And I don't know if either one of the two applies here.
Or getting catches.
Right. I mean, who's the team leader? And I mean, they gave enormous money to Christian Kirk, enormous money to Zay Jones, an enormous one-year show-me deal for Evan Ingram. Was it them? Marvin Jones Jr., okay. I know there's a lot of respect there. I've told you the story often about 2 Augusts ago when Trevor in his first training camp. Marvin got three targets yesterday. No receptions. Would that fall on deaf ears at this point? And he's become what, the 4th option? If you add Travis Etienne, he's become the 5th option. I don't know how much weight that's going to carry. Is there anyone on that offensive line? I mean, see, typically you got to be a leader. We saw Jalen Ramsey yesterday go after the opponent's punter, screaming at his players on the sideline. Jalen's a guy that would make those comments. Leonard Fournette's a guy who would make those comments. Unique Ngakoue is a guy who would fight his teammates here and make those comments. I honestly, and you didn't even have bad guys like Jared Odrick who would say things. I remember doing the weekly show with Malik Jackson. He said, "Did you see what Jared Odrick did yesterday?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was there on the sideline report. I saw exactly what he did. Jared Odrick made a complete fool out of himself and the entire organization, and no one stopped him." Malik Jackson's like, "I'm brand new here. I'm not going to go stop him. I've only played here for a few games."
What was he doing?
He just had a total temper tantrum. He was like
screaming at the coaches or whatever.
He was like a 2-year-old baby. You took away his his blanket
Pacifier.
or something. It was a total embarrassment by Jared Odrick, who's a turd. He's a turd. But, I look at Malik Jackson, who said, I'm brand new to this team. I'm not going to say anything. So if you think about Zay Jones or Christian Kirk or Evan Ingram, they're brand new to the team.
And Ingram has a 1-year contract.
Right.
What does he care?
Is that your role? And I'm not saying it could be one of those. I got to believe it's someone on, obviously we're told it's offensive players, but, I would think a skill guy. Because skill guys are divas, right? And wide receivers are divas. That's the major bitch position in the NFL. Wide receivers do it all the time. They're wired that way. But I look at the candidates on this team, and I'm almost like, has he earned the right? Zay Jones got totally overpaid. Is he going to say anything? Christian Kirk, even though there were people out there that were writing he was worth every cent of his contract based on the first 2 weeks. Let me check out his numbers again yesterday. Christian Kirk, 7 targets, 3 receptions, 40 yards. All right?
Wouldn't that be incentive to be upset, though? Like, everyone thinks I'm the overpaid guy.
For the year.
Because I'm not getting the ball.
35 for 61. 35 for 70 is 50%. 35 for 61. So Trevor's missing him around 40% of the time. The go-to guy. 40% of the time. You're talking about 35 receptions, 498 yards, 14.2 per, 4 touchdowns. Here's a guy that's giving you 62 yards a game for all of that money. Hey, listen, I'm a big, like to see it work out for Christian Kirk. I don't know. Maybe it's him. Maybe it is Marvin Jones Jr. Maybe Marvin Jones Jr. is unhappy. I had someone ask me, do you think they could get a 3rd or 4th round pick for Marvin Jones? What? Guy's 32. Guy can't even run anymore.
You couldn't get a 7th for Marvin Jones.
You know what you're getting for Marvin Jones? You're getting someone who's going to pick up that salary. That's what you're getting.
You would have to, give a draft pick with him.
So I honestly don't know who it is. And
certainly not ETN. We can rule that out. That's like his bestie.
Yeah, and it's not too often when you put together a 24-carry, 156-yard game that you come out and start railing on other guys. That's one of those deals where you look in the mirror and say, I did my job today. But the reason why I think this is such a big story is I've been forever wondering who the leaders are. Who's the biggest leader on this offense?
I thought it was Trevor. But I don't know. I guess it would be Sheriff on the O-line. They probably have leaders at position groups. But overall, I thought it was Trevor.
All right. So if it's Sheriff, we're talking about a guy who has 8 career games here.
Exactly.
And you may be right. Is Cam Robinson a leader?
No.
Is Juwan Taylor
a
leader? The oldest statesman on this team is Ty Shatley, 9 years. Is he a leader?
Back up.
I'd say Marvin Jones Jr. is the biggest leader. But his play is slipping. And the only way that you can honestly lead in this league is by making plays. So that's the whole point that I'm trying to bring up here. The total lack of leadership on this football team is frightening. The last time Jacksonville was successful in that 2017 season, look at all the leaders. And these weren't the best of buds, especially on the defense, man. They were vicious. With Jalen Ramsey, I was watching the game yesterday with my dad. I was watching the game yesterday with my brother, and they showed John. I was like, Jalen did this. When I was a sideline reporter, Jalen did that all the time. Whether it was Aaron Colvin or, you can just go on and on and on. Jalen wasn't going to listen to anyone else. Jalen was set in his own ways. Yannick Ngakoue was absolutely in his own world. So wasn't Dante Fowler. Now, the difference between Ngakoue and Fowler is that I think Ngakoue, it was pretty genuine. I felt as though he really wanted to win. Fowler was one of those guys that I think he was thinking about what am I going to be doing here after the game. I mean, just look at the different leadership there. Look at Puzeluzny. Look at Telvin. Telvin was an unbelievable leader. Now, he changed after he got the bag. He changed after Puzeluzny retired. Some of those guys laughed at Calais Campbell. Literally laughed at him. They thought he was too grandfatherly. There were others. Took him under his wing, particularly Josh Allen. It was enormous. Barry Church was probably the most professional guy out of that group, in my opinion. Along with, I guess Calais. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make, so many different attitudes, so many different points of view. And I guess the best way to describe it, whether it was A.J. Boye or Tashawn Gibson, they all thought they were right. Now, to watch Jalen totally dismiss Perry Fewell was awful. He needed to go. As great as he is, he turned into a total jackass. Perry Fewell's been around the NFL forever. A total lack of respect. And I saw the same thing with Yannick Ngakoue and Elijah Hood, former defensive line coach. Well, that's that. And that's today. Today, the players can say whatever they want to the coaches. The coaches can't say anything to the players, right? You can't risk that. Do you think that in Carolina, anything was said to DJ Moore? Honestly, after he took off his helmet? Best example we have around here, what was it, a month ago? When Aloha Khan said, I'm not going to say anything to Trayvon Walker about that personal foul. He knows he was wrong. Oh, did he? Well, he went out and made the exact same personal foul call a week later, and then you, the veteran, Aloha Khan, made the exact same mistake and penalty 2 weeks after.
Well, that's probably why he didn't want to say anything. He's like, I know I'm going to do this as well. I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Oh. All right, I'm in the. I do. I really want to find this out. This is. I think it's actually good. I'm surprised. I mean, the character of this club, it's evident what they attempted to do. I mentioned some bad guys like Jared Odrick and Chris Clemens and Jalen Ramsey, just, bad guys, okay? You look at the players they signed, it's like impeccable character guys. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, Brandon Sheriff, Foye Oluokun, Fadu Kasi, Muma, Lloyd. I mean, Trayvon Walker is like the most humble, respectful first pick I've ever seen. That figured in to changing the culture, bringing in good human beings. All right? I've always wanted a little nasty. Say what you want about Chris Clemens. He was brutal, but during his day, he made plays. Okay? Say what you want about Jalen Ramsey. Did he rub everyone the wrong way at times? Well, the guy made plays. Okay? I love that with football players. I want guys that have that in them. That they're going to yell and they're going to scream and they're going to show you that they want to win and they're going to get on their teammates if something doesn't go right. When's the last time you've seen that here? Give me one example. Because maybe I've missed it. And I'll tell you something, I missed nothing the 8 years that I was a sideline reporter. I missed nothing. I could write a book on it. I give you example after example after example. And for the most part, I love it because that's how I'm wired. I want to see it spilled out on the sideline. I want to see it spilled out in the locker room. I don't like hanging on to stuff, keeping it bottled up. There's too much acceptance here. There's too much, we're close. You know what I mean? And that's viable in college football. It's buyable around here with the Gators. It's buyable around here with the Seminoles. It's not buyable with this fan base. This fan base has had it. They don't want to hear any more excuses. Wish I had an answer for you. If so, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be over there. I'm not over there.
GM Ballou.
Heck yeah. GM Ballou would not have re-signed Cam Robinson. GM Ballou would have gotten the best left tackle in America. GM Ballou wouldn't have drafted Trayvon Walker.
Well, that's because GM Ballou wouldn't have had the number 1 overall pick.
Right, that's right, man.
Like number 30.
GM Ballou would have his name posted all the way up and down Phillips Highway right now.
Yeah, statues.
His drink is, he doesn't pay for drinks in this town.
Or dances.
Getting a ton on Josh Allen. I wish I knew. Here's my opinion on. Actually, let me say that for the other side. And I know I've had a bunch of callers on. I apologize to you folks. I don't have the opportunity to get to you tonight. Here's the bottom line. I got a lot on my mind. And I got a lot. I still like, what's great about, for me, is the microphone is like a drug. It really is. You get it all out of you, and you feel so much better. But I feel like it's not out. I feel like there's more that needs to come out in the final 20 minutes of the program. So I apologize. But I will tell you tomorrow night, we're going to take nonstop calls. And this also applies to the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosure. And what do you think we got here? About 500 texts today? I usually try to respond to as many of you as I can. It's impossible. Too much activity right now going on with this football team. All right, when we come back, let me get into that a little bit. Because by the time I'm with you tomorrow night, there is a chance that Josh Allen could be traded, okay? I'm going to give you my thoughts. That's on the other side.
1991, we played Boston College. Tommy May had like 15 tackles.
19.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
19.
okay,
Took 4
but
away
it was
from
19. Tom McManus, Friday from 10 to noon on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound and Security is hiring salespeople right now. If you want to sell new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound and Security is looking for you. Tyson Sound and Security is hiring for sales positions, and they will train you to be successful. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. That's 762-1000. Hiring for sales positions right now. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Ballou here for Shinatri Chiropractic. The breakdown of the body. Stop fighting it. Visit Shinatri Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of JU Athletics. Back and neck pain, arms, legs giving you problems. Get an effective diagnosis and treatment with an adjustment or dry needling. How about acupuncture, which I love because it works. Get rid of your pain and tension. Call 743-6700 or visit them at 2711 University Boulevard, Shinatri Chiropractic.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. Prosser here. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will only cost you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off high-interest credit cards or consolidate other debt or even start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need an appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. You could use that extra cash for the holidays, and you can get it with Loan Pronto. Also visit loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Join Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida for their Beaches Barbecue Bash November 3rd at ABBQ in Atlantic Beach for barbecue, beer, wine, cocktails, cornhole, live music, and a live auction. To impact our youth, go to bgcnf.org/events.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Fan favorite Chris Doring talks Gators on the drill.
Get me the ball. You need the ball.
Wednesdays at 8:15 on 1010XL. Brought to you by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Famous Quick Lube. 12 locations to get an oil change done quickly, starting at just $20. While you sit in your car and get your work done and listen to 1010XL. For fast, affordable vehicle care at your convenience, go to Famous Quick Lube.
Dancing crew, trip for two, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. Boosters designed for COVID-19 variants are now available. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster appointment as soon as you're eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies. Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I love heartwarming, love making music. Right here, we'll do it.
This gets you in the mood.
Does it for me, should do it for you. Happy trick-or-treat, all you kids out there with your mom and your dad. Maybe you're old enough to get out without your mom or dad.
Watch out for Michael.
I was like 6 in Boston. My dad's like, just go.
6.
If you don't come back.
Nowadays, that's not a thing.
Yeah, you didn't have to worry about things back there. Back then. At least we...
Just Dahmer and stuff, guys like that.
At least we didn't think we had to worry about those things.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, as a confirmed Catholic, go watch the movie Spotlight. And maybe, I mean...
The enemy's closer than you'd expect.
Oh, wow. And some people thought I left Boston because of the weather and the politics.
By the way, I will be watching the original Halloween tonight. One of my favorites.
I probably will, too.
Every year.
Jamie Lee Curtis. She's had almost as many lives as Michael. All right. I'm going to wrap it up with Josh Allen. Let me give you my pick, though. I'm going to take Cincinnati tonight, minus the 3. Therefore, I'll be betting on Cleveland. I'm 10-4. Meaning I only got 4 picks right. The 10 teams I bet on won. So that's up $10,000 right there, minus $4,000 plus the juice. That's $100 apiece. So that's $10,000 minus $4,400. I am up officially $5,600 going into tonight's game. Again, this is all Monopoly money. For the year, I'm up $9,400. You had $56,000 to that. Are you kidding me? I'm up $15,000 going into tonight. All you have to do, people, all you have to do is take my picks. against the spread and bet against them, you'd be up $15,000 if you made $100 increments. And as I always say, I did this for a reason, because the public always loses. And for those who say, Ballou doesn't know anything, he's always talked about betting. Why isn't he doing bet? Well, I wouldn't bet on all these games. You're a fool to bet on all these games. I would have looked at 2 or 3 games and bet them. And I guarantee my record would be way better. Actually, it probably wouldn't, which is kind of funny. But you understand my point. Instead of betting on every game every week, I would only bet on a couple of games that I really do like. All right, Josh Allen, here's where I'm at with it. I trade Josh Allen only if the offer is spectacular. Kansas City apparently is asked, are you going to give up Josh Allen for Kansas City's first-round pick next year? What's that going to be? Pick number 28? I mean, right now I think Buffalo's the better team. Does Kansas City get to an AFC championship game? Does Kansas City get knocked off earlier? Okay, so you're not getting a top 10 pick. That's my point. You're going to be getting a late pick in the 20s. Hell, it could be 30. We just don't know. Josh Allen needs to get better. He did not have a good game yesterday, but he still had 4 pressures. He's only got 3 sacks. But this football team right now, after everything I've talked about, they truly do need more leaders. And he is a leader on that side of the ball. I'm not saying I wouldn't move him if the offer was spectacular. Okay, maybe even a position player is involved. Maybe they get someone else back that can help out this football team, either on the offense or the defense. And I'm not talking about Kansas City. I'm talking about any team that would make an offer. And you get some serious draft capital. I did see today with Spot Rack that it's only $14.7 million is what they believe he is worth. I thought it was going to be 17, 18. Now, that's just one man's opinion. That's not to say that it won't go up. And with Josh Allen, you already have him locked up for next year with the 5th-year team option. You could always put a franchise tag on him for 2024. So you're getting him for 2 more seasons. I got to be blown away by it. How about you? Or you'd move him. You're not a fan.
Yeah, I haven't been a fan of him for a while. And yesterday was just a perfect example of him to me. A guy disappears for games at a time. When it matters most, that last drive, he inexplicably leaves Russell Wilson so much room to just go right around him. He doesn't get any sacks. I mean, I guess he gets pressures. But has that led to the Jaguars winning in any way whatsoever? To me, no. Get what you can for him. Let him bounce.
I'd have to be blown away. Now, anyone else? I mean, if you can get anything for Darren Arnold, I make the move. If you can get anything for Rayshon Jenkins, I make the move. If you can get anything for Marvin Jones Jr., I make the move.
So you plan on re-signing Josh Allen? Like, if you're not going to trade him, like, what's the why even keep him what's the point of the rest of these games this season?
Well, they have him for 2 more years. You have the 5th-year option, which is just over $10 million for next year, so that's affordable.
Okay, so
and then you can put a franchise tag on him. But if he's truly part of the future, you're better off giving him a long-term contract. I think it's literally flip the coin at this particular time. My guess is that there's a difference of an opinion there on Josh Allen. I still think it comes down to this. Josh Allen has hopefully made some other players around him better. Will those players someday make Josh Allen better? Does that make any sense to you? Calais Campbell, Yannick Ngakoue, Marcel Darius, they made Josh Allen better. Is this football team right now making Josh Allen better, where he becomes the number one responsibility for the offensive line and, offensive coordinators? He's not a superstar. He's a good football player. Can Jacksonville afford to say goodbye to a good football player, considering if we were to go back into the preseason, we were ranking the top 10 guys on this team, I would have had Josh Allen and James Robinson probably in my top 6 or 7. One's already gone. And now you're talking about this guy here. So if I got a great offer for it, I would make the move. You know, the guy wants to be here. He likes the town. There's not a lot of guys you can really hang your hat on in this organization. But if you look at his overall production, it has been inconsistent. There are things that he does on the field that don't necessarily add up on the stat sheet. And that was supposed to be the book on Trayvon Walker. I just don't think you can have it both ways. Man, one of those guys has got to move forward. You know, I mean, Bradley Chubb gets sacks. Brian Burns gets sacks. Those guys are reportedly available. We saw the trade today with Roquan Smith. You know, Chicago's made some moves now where, you know, apparently they're cashing in. And it just feels like a little bit more of a middle ground situation. I have a feeling if I polled 100 people right now, 50 would say keep Josh Allen, 50 would say move him. And when you have something like that, what does it mean? Inconsistency. So that's where we're at. All right. We'll know tomorrow night. Again, the trade deadline's at 4 on Tuesday, so when we join you after Helmets and Heels, we'll know exactly what the Jaguars do. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Or do they stand pat? We'll find that out. Thank you to Hackers coming up right now. Thank you to Denny Thompson. Thank you to JJ. Again, I don't check the text line out. The show is over. If you want to get a hold of me, please do so on Twitter. That is Ballou 1010XL. Have a safe Halloween, people. We'll talk tomorrow right here on your home of the Jags.